Hey YouTube, it's been a while. And when I say it's been a while for Aaron Keller, the game director. He finally put another Director's Take article out, welcoming Venture to Overwatch and giving a tease for the Season 10 balance. Remember, Season 10 begins next week, April 16th on a Tuesday. Let's see what Aaron has to say. Listen up, the Twitch chat is emoting and having a good time. It's been a while since my last blog. Aaron doesn't have a deep voice like that, but we've been hard at work. Let's get right into it. First off, I am thrilled that you have welcomed our newest hero, Venture, to the lineup. Venture's ecstatic personality has charmed many of you, and you have already asked us so many questions about their backstory and personality. While I'm unsure if they like to munch on rocks, they have drilled their way to being the top picked hero in quick play this past weekend. We'll be revealing more about Venture's story and how they were developed shortly after Season 10 launches. One of the biggest reasons many of us instantly fell in love with Venture is the incredible voice talent of Valeria Rodriguez. By the way, I did get to play with Valeria with the VA last week. They're awesome. And they actually voice like a Genshin character and some other characters in other video games. Who was it in Genshin? Venti? Glucose? Glucose. I think it was Glucose. We instantly knew they were a hit when we saw how much energy they could put in their voice and how they matched Venture's personality perfectly. We are also thrilled that many of you have welcomed Valeria into our community. Watching all of your reactions from the hero trial, we're pretty happy with how Venture's initial kit turned out. The team was really happy with where Venture landed from a balance perspective during the trial, and it gave us confidence that they could release early into competitive. Wait a minute. So normally when a new hero comes out, they wait 2 weeks before they go into comp. But if they're putting Venture out on day one, that is a pretty major shift. I don't know if I agree with that. Because they did a free trial, it's like, oh, we have enough data and we think it's balanced, we should throw them into ranked. Okay, wait, let me finish this article and then I have something to say about this. We're still deciding how early, but we feel they are in a suitable state, fun to play and fair to play against. While we don't foresee needing to make many changes to their kit, we're gonna be listening closely to your thoughts on how Venture is doing in-game. Maybe it's a 1 week wait. Previously, they would lock new heroes behind 2 weeks before comp to give players time to unlock them through the free trial of the battle pass, right? Level 45 or 55 unlocks the hero. But now that they're changing the model, that they're giving heroes available right away, is that happening in Season 10? I don't even know. I'm losing track of what news has been released these days. Like, did they say it's happening? I know it's happening, but I don't know if it's happening Season 10. Okay, it is. So because Venture is free for everybody right off the rip, that's probably why they're not waiting anymore. I don't know if I like that. I still think you could do some fine tuning. A 3-day free trial weekend is data, but I feel like not that much data at the same time. Like 2 weeks is a lot of time previously, because in 2 weeks you can ship out a quick hotfix patch too. But I will say I did like Venture for the 3-day weekend. I think Venture's a perfect blend of good combo, good weave of cooldowns and combo of the abilities with good skill expression, and has very distinct weaknesses with the range. Can be punished because you're only at a 15-meter range with your attacks at most, which means long range, you should win the duel or at least pressure Venture quite a bit. Venture is probably going to be played into Brawl because you have to be very, very close. But I don't know if I would consider Venture a dive hero. I do think Brawl more than anything. Maybe you can slot it in. Maybe it's just something I'm not aware of. But in ranked, Venture will be played in random comps. Doesn't matter. So we've heard a lot of feedback that you like the tempo momentum Venture brings. That's an interesting sling of words. I feel like you could have just said tempo. Anyways, Aaron, being able to engage and disengage in fights. Yeah, they're bringing back the word tempo. If you guys remember, they called, what was it, Ramattra a tempo tank or something like that. And then they used terms like anchor tank for Orisa back in the day. A little redundant here, Aaron, but that's all right. This is how you know this is authentic Aaron writing. Not too much editing or copy edits or whatever. This is true to Aaron's words. Yeah, you know you're in trouble when I'm questioning someone's writing choices. Me, someone who is terrible at writing and language. But we're looking at tweaking a few things for Venture at the start of Season 10. All right, now here's the nitty-gritty balance. Shifting some of the burst damage from their drill dash and clobber, which is their melee, into damage over time. Because I think clobber was 40 on impact and then like a tick 10, 10, 10, 10 to do 70 over time. It might be cut in half to like 20 and then maybe do 20 over time, 20, 20, 20, 10 or something like that. So you get rid of the burst, but the damage, spread it over damage over time. So the total damage is still the same across the same time period, but it technically is a net nerf. Very small one, simply because if you spread damage over time, it gives opportunity for the enemy team to heal that damage up before you feel the impact of burst. But I know Overwatch is really going in that direction where they want to remove a lot of the burst damage in the game because a lot of people were complaining about it. So mathematically, maybe 25, 15, 15, 15 probably mathematically works better. I forgot how much Drill Dash did, but that's the idea they're going for. I'm not totally against this. I think this is fine if you want to reduce the burst. I will say, I have a couple of clips with Venture where I just randomly 250 to 0 somebody. I used to say 200 is 0, but since almost every hero has 250 HP now, it is totally possible to like drill dash, clobber, shoot or something, and you just completely burst a hero, which is kind of insane. So spreading it over time isn't a terrible choice. I'm okay with this. Next, we're looking to reduce the vertical knockback of Tectonic Shock. That's the ultimate ability. You're not going to be knocked up as high, because I do think when people, wasn't one of the complaints that if you shot your Tectonic Shock really fast back to back, the second one wouldn't hit, they were juggled too high. I'm not sure if that's actually true, but if you were jumping at the same time and then you got hit by one, you went really high and then you'd have to wait before you shoot the second one. So maybe this one's actually a bit of a buff in some cases. Alongside these minor changes to Venture, we have a number of other hero changes coming in Season 10. So here's the juicy part. With Tank, we're upping the impact of Junker Queen's Carnage. That's the, big axe swing. And Reinhardt's Earth Shatter. So both abilities cut through better in the post Season 9 world. This is implying obviously the big HP pool changes. So this is looking to me like a burst damage change. Cut through better in the post Season 9 world. HP, this is probably a damage buff. This is probably a shatter damage buff. Biggest tank changes coming to Season 10 though are for Wrecking Ball. So this was teased already. Let's see what they're doing here. There are some great improvements to Wrecking Ball's grappling hook, including a reduced cooldown when not entering ramming speed. Wait, so a shorter cooldown when you're not entering the rolling fireball speed, and the ability to retract himself to where the grapple is attached by holding down primary fire or jump. I swear, every single Wrecking Ball player here has accidentally rolled off Lijiang Tower Garden on the bridge and then did the dangle of shame, where they sit there dangling and they're like, fuck, they fucked up, and they had to kind of shimmy themselves to see if they could recover. Admit it, ball players, you've all done this. And then maybe there's that odd chance they actually somehow bounce, and they make it back up. But for the most part, they accept their death after 10 seconds and they just waste time. But now you're able to retract yourself. I'm actually okay with this. I think this is a great Wrecking Ball quality of life change. It makes Wrecking Ball a little bit easier in some ways, but I actually think this gives better skill expression. The high level players can benefit from this as well, because you can set up like a stalling play. If you grapple up, some balls know how to like, roll perfectly and then like have the correct grapple distance to like stall on top of a roof, but like you don't even need to now, which could actually open up more spots for like top ball players, but it'll help the noobs. This hero is a hard hero, right? It's a high skill ceiling, so I think this is a pretty good quality of life change. I don't know if you can re-extend it though. Re-extending sounds a little too strong if you have the agency to reel in and out like that. That gives you're basically AD strafing on your grapple if you're able to retract and give it slack and not. That sounds kind of crazy. I can literally be dangling on the side like this and just fucking AD strafing midair. No, hell no. I don't think so, but retracting itself, cool. I'm cool with this. There are also some changes to adaptive shields. Now, after using adaptive shields, you can reactivate the ability to transfer up to 300 overhealth to nearby allies. Cap at 75 overhealth. Whoa. So they're making Ball feel like a tank and like giving adaptive shields to your teammates. Overhealth, kind of like Junker Queen's shout, I guess, giving everybody green. So overhealth is green. This sounds kind of good, but at the same time, a lot of balls engage away from the team, right? A lot of balls like strengths come from like getting in before the team and starting off the engagement with your slam. I don't know how many people are going to be in range to get the adaptive shield, or maybe you can slam, get your adaptive shield, roll back to your team, give them the overhealth, and then do your like fireball re-engage. So maybe there's a play there, but if you do that, of course you spend your adaptive shield to give to your team to engage. You don't have as much when you go in. I'm actually very curious to see how this changes Ball, but that sounds pretty good on paper. This should give Wrecking Ball more capability protecting his allies and initiating engagements, defining features of what we want to see in tanks. And this will actually, 75 overhealth, by the way, helps a lot of thresholds for like randomly getting one shot, right? 75 overhealth on a 250 HP hero puts you out of range of like a Widow headshot, Pulse Bomb maybe if you have a little bit of armor, depending on what hero you are. 325. I'm trying to think of other abilities that have like breakpoints around 300 or like 250. Can save you if you see like a Pharah rocket on the way. Things like that. Next, for our damage heroes, there'll be some light adjustments for Sombra and Tracer. Sombra's virus is taking a small hit of the damage over time, 100 to 90, since the ability is now more upfront burst. So this is just the tail end of the virus, will not do as much, the damage over time, but the burst, the initial impact damage is what like kind of hurts as well, along with Sombra shooting you. That's a decent nerf. Tracer has been quite strong since the Season 9 changes. She's one of the least touched heroes in Overwatch history. Her kit flows spectacularly well. We're looking at some light changes for her now to make her slightly more punishable and require more precision. So make her more punishable implies to me blink or recall nerf. More precision implies weapon spread, but this might be a double nerf. So if you're touching one of the cooldowns of her movement and like the spread, that's kind of rough. We'll see if it's like a double nerf. I'm okay with like one small one, but like I think the movement is fine. It's only really like at the high skill ceiling heroes that Tracer players that can really like make use of the movement stuff. You could lower some of the damage a little bit, like, or the spread, but yeah, I don't know. I hate dealing with Tracer as a support player since I get focused a lot. So like, I'm not like, my bias is showing where I'm like, I mean, okay, nerf Tracer, sure. As a representative of good hero balance in the Overwatch community where I want everybody to win. It's not like a politician. Everybody wins. It might be okay. We'll have to see what they actually cook up here. But yeah, moving on to support. We are looking at shifts in power for Moira, Lucio, and Illari. That means taking power from one part of their kit and funneling it into another to somewhat maintain the overall power budget of the hero. Illari, for example, is receiving a slight nerf to her primary recovery time again. What? So they're nerfing the DPS, 0.2 to 0.25 seconds for the shots, but giving her more power in her healing, increasing the HPS from 105 to 115. There are some light buffs for Lifeweaver as we continue to evaluate where healthy power could be injected in his kit. I mean, I like these recent Illari changes. I really think Illari's recent buffs for the mid-season or late season 9, mid-season 9 was pretty good. I think Illari's in a decent spot where we see her quite more in ranked right now. She's viable, doesn't feel that bad. But they're making her more heal body, but I feel like if you want to just lean into Illari's like role or her niche, it is like being a DPS, very DPS oriented support. So I felt like they could just keep this and they didn't have to do anything with the HPS. Anyways, that's a true one for, this is a true number for Illari. And then they haven't mentioned what they're going to do for Moira or Lucio yet. So that one we'll wait and see. And then some buffs for Lifeweaver as well. Many of you guys may have seen the recent developer update this month, and we're just as excited for you as you are for these changes, including heroes no longer being locked behind the battle pass. We're incredibly excited about season 10, and we've got some more changes that will make Overwatch more fun for everyone next season and throughout the year. We'll have another developer update coming out tomorrow, which will touch on what we're doing for comp and updates on what we're doing to help make Overwatch a more safe and inclusive experience for everyone. So I hope you'll check it out. That's all I got for now. Can't wait to see all of you jump into season 10, which begins April 16. Thank you, and let's make a great game. Got little nuggets and little bits of balance happening next season or next week, but here we are. Interesting choice. I mean, on some of these Wrecking Ball ones, I'm a little, I wouldn't say concerned, but happy for the ball players, but also, actually, no, I lied. I'm concerned as a support player. I don't like being dove by ball. I hate it. It's always a wait and see with these kinds of articles. But that's what he has to say.